So today, my focus is going to be to talk about customer loyalty and relationship marketing and loyalty marketing. You know, we think about marketing as a great big cloud in the sky that can cover a whole lot of topics, but I hope by the time you leave here today, you will have been inspired to develop your own customer loyalty strategy. So first, I'll tell you just a blip about me, and then second, I'll give you some examples of the way they used to do customer rewards and loyalty and the way they do customer rewards and loyalty today, with some things in between. We'll talk about some lessons from each one of those, and then at the end, we're going to have some giveaways, and I'm going to give you 3 free consulting tips on that. No charge at all except my lunch. How's that for a good deal? All right, so first we have a quiz. The first one is, what do you think was the first or one of the first customer reward programs? And it was started, I'll give you a hint, in 1896.
Green stamps.
You got it. S&H green stamps. Is there anyone in the room that can recall sitting at the kitchen table, pasting these into your mother or grandmother's books or your books? And what was your goal? Get a full page, get a full book, and it depended on what you wanted to get, right? Did you want to get cookware or a toaster oven or a television? You might need 2 books or you might need 50 books. But people really looked forward to doing that. It made them feel involved, and it made them feel connected to the company that was doing it. So the lesson learned from that is give your customers something they value. Not something you value, right? But something your customers value. And then they will want to keep coming back over and over. Believe it or not, the S&H Green Stamps program is still around, but now they call it S&H Green Points. And an entrepreneur named Zaletti or something like that has bought that business and plans to relaunch it sometime this year, so I hear. So we'll see what happens. All right, the second one. In about 1931, another customer rewards program was launched, and it was putting a teaspoon in a box of cereal. General Mills started putting teaspoons in a box of Wheaties. And then after that, with Betty Crocker, came what? Box tops for education, coupons to keep people buying General Mills products, right? This was the coupon catalog. Now, I never remember seeing this, but it was around for a long, long time, where you could choose what you wanted from this catalog based on all this big bag of box tops that you would have. And it worked. Why did this work? This is one of the best examples. Because it was a way to connect to the customer's emotions. Families were together. This became such an integral part of the family's life in their home, because everybody was all about collecting these box tops and getting these goodies and cooking these delicious meals and cakes, that they loved this program, and it formed an emotional connection to General Mills because of that. The next one came about, and by the way, the S&H Green Stamps lasted for over 90 years. Over 90 years. It was sold in 2006, and then again, as I said, about a year ago. The General Mills has lasted 75 years, and that catalog was discontinued a few years ago. The next one was formed in 1981. It was the first frequent flyer program. American Airlines did that. No one had done it before they did it. And now they have over 30 million members. The lesson from this one is, be the first in the market with what you have, or either be the first in the category. If you can't make it to be the first in your category, what do you got to do? You got to be better than anybody else in that spot, right? And show everybody that. Now, the most modern customer loyalty and rewards program today is with that coffee that everybody's addicted to, Starbucks. So what they have done is really the thing now with technology, is they have made it where you can use mobile technology for your rewards and for your payment. So they can just take their phone to pay and get the rewards. And what Starbucks wants you to do, theirs is called Earn a Star. So they have countless ways that you can earn stars to build up your cache of stars. But what do they give you for those stars? Free drinks, free something else. They keep you coming back into Starbucks over and over and over. So the lesson from that is implement technology where technology works best. All you have to do is call Chris and Paul, and they can help you figure that out, right? To make yourself modern. So there is a path to customer loyalty. And this path starts with awareness. First of all, if you want customers to be loyal to you, they have to know who you are, right? Have to be aware of who you are and where you are. Then next, you have to have an element of attraction. That customer has to be attracted to come to you for some reason. Third on the wheel is a connection. You have to make a connection, Chuck, or either they will go down the street to somebody else, right? You've got to have a connection and a reason. Next is emotion. Can somebody give me, don't be shy, somebody give me an example of somebody you do business with that has been able to strike a connection for you? Anybody have one? Well, I'll tell you a good example from Cairo. Besides Jeff Lovett and Eric, when I joined the chamber last month, after I joined the chamber, I went over there and met with them, and I already knew Chad, but I didn't know Jenny until recently. And I got the nicest handwritten thank you note from the chamber. I'd never gotten that before from the Chamber of Commerce. And then I received, my freebies. That's how I really got started with Jeff, was because I received that free commercial through them. And now, no telling how much money I'm going to spend with him, and not only that, how many referrals I'm going to send his way, because he's awesome. That's just the way it is. So they touched me in a connecting way, in an emotional way, by the way they handle my business. I want a sense of belonging. How many grocery stores you have here? 4 or 5? Well, I use Publix in Thomasville. Just very happy to have a Publix over there. We used to have a Winn-Dixie that was not very customer friendly. And I love Publix because they never let you down. When you walk in that store, they are ready to help you. You never have to wait in line over 2 or 3 minutes. They're clean. They keep the place clean. They do a lot of things, to make things right. So I really like shopping at places like that. They're making me feel like I belong, like they want me there. And then what is the reward you would get? You've got to offer your customers some kind of reward. Now, it doesn't have to be the customer loyalty card you slide every time, or they ding it with their little card reader every time you go. It doesn't have to be green stamps or blue stamps or stars. But within your business or your organization, there's got to be something there, whether it's intrinsic or whether it's something tangible, for that customer to feel like they walked away with. And you know why? Why is that? They are spending their hard-earned dollars with you. They are spending their hard-earned dollars with you, and you've got to earn it, and you've got to deserve it, because you're not the only one in the field. I'm not either, and you're not either. So we have to be the best there is out there and offer them something. So those are the keys that make up customer loyalty. Now, this is another thing I hope you'll remember when you leave here today and share with other people. Statistics and researchers have shown that it costs 5 to 7 times more to get a new customer than it does to retain the customer you have. So let's put that into a realistic number. Let's pretend that in our business we spend $100 annually to keep a customer, okay? So if I want to get a new customer, what's the minimum that's going to cost me? $500. 5 times what I spent. So multiply that by 10 new customers in the year, that's $5,000. Multiply that by 10 of your existing customers, it's only $1,000. So for at least 1/5 of what your expenditures are budgeted for either acquiring or retaining customers, you can keep the customers you have and make them fans. Because who are the best customers, Eric? The ones that go out and... That's right. Just like I do for the Publix, for the Eric, Caldwell and Langford, for the Jeff Lovetts, for the Blautech. Once I understand by using someone's services or products myself, then I become a fan of their business. Another fact, and this one really sticks in my mind and feels important to me, and I hope it will to you. Every business, on average, loses between 10% and 30% of existing customers every year. So, if you're a teeny tiny business like I am, or if you're a huge business like a bank or a Caterpillar or whoever, there's going to be, it's all relevant. So if you have a business that has 500 employees and you lose the minimum 10%, let's just say you're a pretty good, darn good business and you don't lose but 10%. How many have you lost in a year? I know y'all can multiply. 500 times 10% is 50. So you would lose 50 of your current customers. And then what have you got to do? What if you got 50 new customers? Well, where did you end up? It's a wash. And I am not good at math. That is not my forte. I never want to see your financial statement. I never want to talk about cash flow or pro forma. But I can figure that out. And I know if I have 10 key clients that have really made a difference in my business, I don't want to lose even one as I go out there and try to gather more, okay? Anybody have any questions about that or arguments or something you want to add in your experience? How many of what, Carrie?
Mine just keep going up. I don't know anything.
We should have just told you to be quiet from the start. Yours business does not count. It does count, doesn't it? That's sad. How many business owners are in the room? And how many people in here have a direct impact in your responsibilities toward business development or business growth where you are? That counts too. What you do matters every day, right? Toward growing that business. All right. Another fun trivia about the S&H story is that in their heyday, which was in the 1960s, they issued 3 times more S&H green stamps than the U.S. Post Office issues postage stamps. That's a lot of green stamps, isn't it? All right, so now you ready for your 3 free tips? Here you go. I'm not going to charge you a dime, just my lunch. That was a great salad, by the way. I love it. Number 1 tip, customers will not give you chance after chance after chance. It's just not going to happen. You must have a customer loyalty strategy and plan in place, or the next one down the block is going to walk all over you because they're thinking about it and they're doing it instead of you. Seek outside help for this, and this is why. When you're in the midst of your business every day, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You know why? Because you don't have a break. If your workplace is like my workplace always was, and I was always very conscientious and did this type of thing with all my heart wherever I worked, I didn't have time outside that. Number 2, annually ask customers for their feedback, their questions, for their input. And this is what I tell my clients they should do. Depending on how many customers you have in your customer base, I recommend surveying 80 to 90% of them electronically, especially if you have a lot of customers, through SurveyMonkey or something with very intelligent questions, just a few, no more than 10, so that they'll do it and be able to click through. But that other 10 to 20%, you get someone outside to survey them face to face, because you're going to pick your key clients and what they say really matters, because they're either spending the most with you or something like that that makes them a good sampling representative of who your customers are. And when you get that feedback from that outside person, they can put it in a format for you that becomes the recommendations and solutions for what you can do for some real simple changes. And you haven't had to spend and go through what would be drudgery for you to figure that out. The 3rd free tip I'm giving you is, if you have not done this already, I don't care if you don't have but 10 customers or 5,000, assign your customers a rating. It can be A, B, C. It can be super duper super or good. It can be whatever you want to call it. But determine whether either the most revenue comes from, or the most times in your business, or the most contact, something that matters to you. And usually it's the most expenditure, the person spending the most. So say that's customer A. And then you've got customers B and customer C. Well, customer A, back to that annual review, you'd want to talk to them face to face. Customer C and some of the B's, you would probably survey them electronically and that would be fine. But sort those. The other reason you sort is because it helps you focus in your mind on how you're going to market to and how you're going to serve that particular niche of customers. Got it? Your C customer may not spend but $100 a year with you. Your A customer may spend $10,000 a year with you. When you know that and you have them categorized, then you can go right into your loyalty relationship marketing plan and determine what reward, what you're going to do to keep those customers coming back and keep those customers being fans of your business. Before I started my consulting firm, I worked for a long time for the Department of Economic Development. And that's how I first met a few people in this room, the Chucks. I spent a lot of time with the Chamber and the Economic Development Authority. And when I first started with the department, this was my region. So I knew lots of people in every county here, and I just loved it. And then after some promotions and things, I was responsible for all the project managers in the state. And we ran the Entrepreneur and Small Business Division, ran the Existing Industry and Recruitment Division. So I tell you that just to say, the experience I bring is that I've met with and tried to assist companies from sole proprietors to the largest companies in the state. And there's a wide variance of what they need and what they care about. And so when I left the Department of Economic Development, I just was one of those lucky ones that had enough years in to do that. I picked out the 3 or 4 things I felt I was really good at, and that's how I have focused my consulting business. And I learned so much from that, and I appreciate what the value was that brought to my experience level and what I can contribute to you. In closing, I'd like to say that if any of this sounds good to you, I give a free first consultation. I'd love to be your outsourced consultant. And I'll close by saying I want to wish all of you in business and in the work life many, many blessings and much prosper in 2015 and the coming years. And thanks for having me today.